you mentioned some outside project, working with WWE again as far as being in the video game that's coming out. The big announcement was made last week about you being involved in the video game. That got a big reaction from the crowd in LA when I was there. And then also, you talked about the DVD. How much?
So they announced it?
Yeah, they announced it officially.
Really?
SummerSlam access.
So now I don't have to lie to everybody.
Oh, so they never even.
Oh, you didn't even need to know.
I've been denying all the time.
Oh, breaking news then. You're in the video game.
I'm in the video game. Yes, I'm in the video game. Okay.
All right.
And like I said, the reason why I did that is because I have a 7-year-old boy. Okay, my boy, thank God for the internet, in that he can go to YouTube and see me, doing what I used to do. But I would love more than anything in the world to have him be sitting live as I do what I can still do. But obviously I'm a little older and a little skinnier than I was back then. But just jump in the gym for a couple months and I'm ready to go. But the video game thing for me is a way for him to be proud of who his dad is, because he can go to a store and I can purchase a video game for him. It's current and his daddy's on it. So as a father, no matter how much animosity I have with the WWE and most of the people up there, I have a responsibility to be a good dad. And grudges shouldn't last forever. And if a grudge stands in the way of me providing for my son, it's pretty silly.
Is he a wrestling fan?
How can he not be?
Who's his favorite wrestler right now?
He doesn't watch wrestling.
Oh, okay.
I don't.
Okay. Oh, you don't. Okay.
I don't watch it. I haven't seen one match since I left. Granted, when everybody started to chant my name with this Ryback dude, I watched a little bit. He said he was more athletic to me and whatever, and I wanted to see for myself. And but I don't watch. He's got a little, wrestling figures and stuff. As far as him following anybody, no, because his dad.
Bill, you talked about the last time you did the Spear was against Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania, and you and he were leaving the company at about the same time. He's been back now. Are you surprised to see him back at all?
No, not at all. Because the reality is, if you're smart and you're a smart businessman, which I like to think that I am, you leave opportunities open. And why wouldn't he come back and capitalize on what he did in the UFC and get a 23-day deal for a year? I mean, that's ridiculous. Why wouldn't you do that? I mean, I'd consider something like that for sure. But no, I wasn't surprised at all. He's a smart businessman, and he's handled by smart people. I mean, my goal in getting into wrestling, or one of my goals in getting into wrestling, was to be able to one day wrestle in Japan. Okay? Now, to set my career up to where I was viable in Japan, and they wanted me in Japan. And I fortunately did that. And that was a dream of mine, wrestling-wise, because they don't cry if you hit them in Japan. Okay? That was a dream of mine. And I followed Hogan, because I watched his progression and what he did. He was one of the first guys over there, And when he did, he got a heck of a payday. And it was a wonderful thing. And he was able to reach a new audience. And, that's why it was hard for me to turn bad guy that one night, because I like to be there. I like to be somebody that the kids can look up to. And the reality is, it's a fictional business. And sometimes that isn't always the case. And sometimes business-wise, that's not the smartest thing to do. That's why a lot of people don't like me and the way I treated my character. But the night that I would turn bad, they had me go against Hacksaw. He had just come back from cancer. I had a Make-A-Wish kid in the back. She had no clue as to the stageness of what we were doing. And so therefore, she took it to heart. She was bawling when I got back to the room. The next day, I told him I'm going back. Is that a good business thing? No. Sometimes there's things much more important than business. So if I ever leave a legacy, if when I'm gone, and people think about Goldberg and the difference that he made in wrestling, they talk about John Cena and stuff, all the Make-A-Wishes that he's done. That's what I want them to remember about me. Because I made a difference with the kids. Because the kids are our future, and there's nothing more important than putting a smile on their face.
What if you're were you interested in the Hall of Fame if they came to you and asked you? Because they're not talking about that. just another...
To me, does it mean that I've accomplished greater things in wrestling? Absolutely not. Is it something that before I die, I have to strike off my bucket list? Absolutely not. If it was offered to me, I'd seriously consider it. But is it something that I'm longing for and my life is not complete until I'm in the WWE Hall of Fame? I love Pete Rose to death. Pete Rose in the Hall of Fame. He didn't put asses in seats like I did. Maybe on the baseball field for sure. But so the answer is no. Very long-winded answer.
Since you train MMA, what do you think of these guys like Batista that gave it a shot? And are you willing to give it a shot?
They're doing it for business. They're doing it purely for business, and it's brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant. But I'm old comparatively. I used to own the largest MMA gym in the United States back in the late 90s when Couture and Randleman and Fry and Coleman were coming to my gym before it was even cool. Where do you think the character came from? I went to the first UFCs. I knew it was going to be big. Patterned my character after a 295-pound defensive lineman that knew Russian Sambo and knew, Sabat kicks and stuff like that. I thought it was cool. So my opportunity to get in it was way back then. There was no money.
That's why the gloves, huh? That's why you wear the gloves to do.
Absolutely. That, and because if I actually hit a guy in the ring with no gloves on, he should bleed. Okay? So I thought it's more realistic if I wear gloves and hit him, though gloves cut really easily. I thought that was more realistic.